welcome to the Theater Vision podcast. Theater Vision, discovering the future in Bay Area theater. Today I have with me two wonderful people from a company that has made its name in Sonoma, Sonoma Arts Live. I have with me the Executive Artistic Director, Jaime Love, and the Business Manager, Rick Love. You guys please introduce yourselves.
Hi, thanks for having us. We're really excited to tell you a little bit about Sonoma Arts Live and what we've got going on.
Yeah, we're excited about our season, and thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
Thank you guys for coming on. I'm Nick Moore, and I'm your host. So I want to talk really quickly. Whenever I have a guest on this podcast, I like to first ask them to explain what their company is. So could you guys quickly give an explanation?
Sure. We started as Sonoma Theater Alliance in 2010, and we were a theater cooperative. In 2015, we became a theater company. So the 2017-2018 will be our third season as a theater company. We have had a great season. This past one was called Women Who Dare. We had everything from Anne, the story of the Texas governor, to Gypsy with Danny Innocenti Beam, and we had a great hit with Evita with Ellen Toscano. It's just been an incredible ride the last 6 months, and we just launched with Spitfire Grill, opened our 2017-2018, directed by Michael Ross. So we're just closed The Rainmaker tonight, which has been an amazing, crazy run, and just looking forward to doing more.
Starring your host.
That's right.
Among other people.
That's right.
So, what got you two personally, involved with this company?
Well, actually, I started it in 2010 with a gentleman named Todd Evans. We were working on a show in Ross Valley, and we were thinking that Sonoma really needed to have its own dedicated theater space. So we got together, and with then my husband was volunteering his help, but with a lot of like-minded people, and we raised enough money to ultimately renovate, with the help of the city and the community center, Andrews Hall, and turn it from an old 100-year-old auditorium into a working theater. Mm-hmm. So Sonoma Theater Alliance donated $35,000 worth of seats and risers to the community center, so when we're not in the space, they can use it for events. So it's been a real community bonding experience, and something we're all really proud of.
Well, for me, I was playing in bands for years, and then when my second child was born in 1999, it just was getting too difficult to be playing music, and the other people that I was in the group with, they wanted to tour, and they wanted to do things that bands do. And with two small children at home, that wasn't going to happen. So Jaime,
and me saying that's not going to happen,
right? So Jaime had, she's a trained actress, went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, and had been doing plays from back when it was called Theater at the Center, which was kind of a sporadic, a couple shows here and a couple shows there. And in 1999, they announced they were going to do 12 Angry Men. And I came in as Juror 11 in 12 Angry Men and just loved it. Loved the whole thing. It's very different than playing in a band, but performances you get that thrill, and it kind of scratches that itch. And being able to tell other people's stories is really exciting. So from 12 Angry Men, I've just been acting in shows at least once or twice a year since then.
And we feel so blessed to be able to, have dinner with our kids who are now grown, and then run down here and do theater, because it just got too much to, when we first got married, I was doing shows still in San Francisco, and I couldn't handle the commute. I really admire all of you actors who come from as far as Oakland, Fremont. We had Davis this year. That's fantastic, but to be able to do it in your town is a really special thing.
Mm-hmm. And what makes Sonoma Arts Live, the company, unique from other theater companies?
Well, I like to think of it as absolute family. Right now we have 2 shows today, and in between the 2 shows we just served everybody a big dinner with our wonderful assistant manager cooked for everybody, and I just think of it as a big family, and we really work hard to get to know our audience and find out what shows they want to see. So we're always asking. Rick is also a market research analyst, which is a company called Creative Audience Research. So he helps us do surveys and constantly track what other people want. So I wouldn't say we're different. I would just say that we are proud to be among so many great theater companies in the North Bay, but I'm just, I love that we have an old proscenium arch and, a building where Scream was filmed. It's got a lot of history, and I still get excited when we see something come to life here, and having been doing plays here since 1995, and, we used to bring our kids in their strollers to watch us rehearse. We were, what was the show we did? Little Shop of Horrors, just about scared the heck out of our kids. But so we have a life in the theater on the stage,
I think what is, for me, is setting us apart is, for a long time, Sonoma was kind of an island in the middle of, there was theater in Santa Rosa, and there was Dreamweavers in Napa, and Cinnabar, and we were kind of doing our own thing, but we didn't have the cross-pollination that all of the other, like how Napa people were doing shows in Petaluma, and Santa Rosa people, and all of that. And that's something that until Sonoma Arts Live became its own theater production company, that was something we didn't have control over the shows, because whoever was in the cooperative, they got to, they had the total 100% creative control over what the choice was. Whereas what Jaime has done over the last 3 years has really cultivated directors. Pat Nim's director of The Rainmaker, she's been talking to for 2 years. Talking to Carl Jordan, who was directing Inspecting Carol for 3 years. Michael Ross, who directed Gypsy and Spitfire Grill. So I think now one of the things that I see when I look at us is that it's about getting directors. And when you get the directors, you get the actors. And that's the thing. It's, we may have been, there may have been times in the past where it's about the show, and it is to some extent about the show, but what we found through Jaime's hard work in getting these really great people to come in and direct shows on the Rotary Stage in Andrews Hall is that you get the director, and that's how you get your designers, and that's how you get your actors. That's how we know you. Pat Nims brought you in.
That's right. We have a great board member who's a well-known North Bay actor, Anthony Martinez, and he had this great idea to do an actor's reception. He said, let's invite them all. Everyone thinks the Valley is just this isolated place. Oh, I could never do a show here because it's not off the highway, So he just basically called up all of his actor friends in this area and said, come and see what Sonoma Arts Live is all about. And we had it in our lounge, and what I thought was going to be about a half an hour was 9:30, I think, like 3 hours. And I just kept, pouring the Sonoma Valley wines and going around talking to everybody and hearing their stories. And afterwards, I just asked them each to send me their bucket list. So it was directors, technicians, and actors. And that's what really helped us this past year, get people like Danny Beam and many others on our stage. Mm-hmm. Heather Buck.
Certainly.
We really broadened our scope, which is thrilling. Not that we don't have fantastic local actors, but there's only so many people that can be in so many plays, that we wanted to cast a wider net. And
we do feel now that with a lot of the directors that Jaime's brought in and the actors that she's attracted, we do feel now more part of the North Bay theater scene as opposed to this kind of island in the middle of all
right.
this.
And so you talked about how you had the actors write a bucket list. So do your artists pick your seasons in a way?
Sometimes it's a little bit of everything, but I firmly believe if an actor that you believe in comes to you with the show and says, I really want to do this show, that I should listen, because, we pay all of our actors, but it's not, anything they can quit their day jobs over. So it's really important that they're invested in the programming, and when they are, it's a great dance, Yeah, so I really firmly believe that if an actor that you respect comes to you with a show, I'm going to do everything I can to listen.
And I think too,
or a director, yeah.
What's worked with so Jaime has set a theme. The theme for last year was Women Who Dare, and what it is that she's been talking to all of these directors, and there are stories out there, and she knows that she has these directors that want to do these plays, and then she puts that together into the season. So the directors bring the story, and then Jaime puts the season together. And then this season, The Ways We Were, a look back, starts with Spitfire Grill, small town in the middle of Wisconsin, whose industry has failed, kind of like a look back on a time from the last 40 or 50 years, and then the Rainmaker going back into the 1920s. So she's chosen the season, and then because she has all of these ongoing conversations with directors, she can put the season together based on that.
We wanted to do a season that it's, this time in our lives is so consumed with social media and everything is online and Googling everything. I thought it'd be really cool to explore plays that happened before we had all this technology, because technology could change the story of just about every play. So that really went into the plays that we chose. One of the plays we're doing this year is called The Dining Room, A.R. Gurney, and it's a play that I've been wanting to do forever. And I did it, 30 years ago at City College, and it never left me because it's such a great actor's dream. You can play up to 6 characters, and it's about what they call gracious living, and it's that whole WASP era when people actually sat down at the dining room table and had conversations and talked with each other or didn't talk with each other. And it's just a way of life that doesn't really happen anymore. The good things that came from that and the bad things that came from that. But it's such a great show for actors, and I can't wait to share that with the audience. What else do we have? We have Jeeves Intervenes, which is a real funny farce. P.D. Wodehouse about the great, what do you call it? Manservant. Is that the right word? Jeeves, mm-hmm. Yeah. And then we're ending the season with Always Patsy Cline, directed again by Michael Ross, which I'm thrilled about. So we chose those shows. Jeeves is a play that James Wood and I have been talking about for, 3 years. And Always Patsy Cline came from the reception that we had here on Michael Ross's bucket list. And the dining room came from me, and the Rainmaker, Pat Nims and I met about 2 years ago. I put a notice out and said I want to meet directors, and he came, and that was on his list. And I said, oh my gosh, I remember that play from college, and I got it out again, and I was like, it was still timely. That's the thing I love about this play, just because it's a period piece. I mean, Lizzie is a strong woman who doesn't just, okay, I'm going to be a spinster, or I'm going to be this or that. She fights at the notion of women and what was expected of them then. So, long-winded answer to your question is it's a little bit of everything. I listen to the actors and I listen to the directors, and then I try to form it.
So hopefully directors out there, if they do have those plays that they really, really want, they'll reach out to Jamie and can start these conversations. Because sometimes these started 3 years ago.
Right.
The Rainmaker started more than 2 years ago.
And
that idea.
And as an actor myself, I totally respect where actors are coming from, and I think I have an innate sense of kind of what they need and how they need to be treated. It's really important to me that when they are part of Sonoma Arts Live, they're part of our family, and I want them to feel invested, not just in their lines on the stage, but in being a part of who we are and how we're trying to entertain and move people.
So having these seasons that are picked by all the artists at the company and that also centralize around one theme, what do you think that does for your audience?
Well, I think it gives them the opportunity to see incredible work. I mean, I am so excited and energized by what these actors are bringing to life, and I think part of that is because they've been there since the beginning. Some of them might have brought me the idea, and I think that really makes a difference when you really feel part of it. And, we're not sitting in a room with all the actors and saying, what do you guys want to do? It's these conversations that I go to my board with, who are also part of the equation. And, all of that kind of gets together in a nice pot of stew.
And for me, the challenge when we were the Sonoma Theater Alliance is there was no overriding creative control.
Right.
We just kind of, the local companies would come in, we'd sign a deal with them, and we didn't have the ability to program a season like we do now. There's just no no way to do it. So I think we've kind of been building up a reputation in the artistic community, but also with the audiences, because it's always, for us, it was very hard back then to say, okay, you loved the first show in the season, but the second show in the season is a completely different company, and there's no cohesion artistically between those shows.
Right, and we had no quality control. There was always a lot of passion, but you've got different companies with different availabilities of actors and availability of staff. So while there was always a lot of passion, the product, was hit or miss. And so we've done a lot of work in the last couple of years to say we're a professional theater company. We're paying our actors. We're doing everything we can with our production values. I mean, the sets alone, the changes in the last 2 years with Bruce Lakovic, who's our set designer for almost all the shows. They know now, oh, look what Bruce did. I love that there's like buy-in,
So another part of it is to just try to get more repeat business, to
Right.
get more people to come back, to understand that there's going to be, the bar has been raised creatively, and that our seasons there's going to be consistency across the season.
So, what recent milestones or achievements has Sonoma Arts Live had, would you say?
Well, tomorrow we get to go to the Theater Bay Area Awards. I'm so excited. This is our first trip there. We've got 3 nominations for Gypsy. Danny Innocenti Beam, Tim Setzer as Herbie, and Amanda Peterson for her
Dainty
portrayal
June.
of Dainty June. Yeah, and then the Marquee Awards. We got a lot of nominations for that.
Becky's New Car was in there. Bruce Lakovic's set was nominated there as well as some of the acting.
And Melissa Clare.
For
and
that.
the wonderful actor who played her husband, whose name is eluding
Matt.
me, Matt Wittes. He was
Yeah.
fantastic. Who else are we going to forget? I don't have it up in front
So
of me.
that's been
but
very
yeah.
gratifying to see. Because we've been submitting it for adjudication for a few years now, and here we are in our 3rd year, and we're getting TBA awards and Marquee Theater awards. Assassins kind of started things off a few years back. That was a Stage 1 Theater Award winner for Best Musical. So that was that's great to see, because again, we're trying to just reinforce the consistency, and the shows are not all the same, and within one season you could go from Jeeves Intervenes on one side to The Rainmaker on the other, but there's going to be a very high, consistently high quality to them. So audiences know when they buy a ticket to Sonoma Arts Live that they're going to see a quality show.
And the great thing about where we are is we're 2 blocks from the plaza. So you can come into Sonoma. You don't have to stay for the weekend. You can just come for the night. We go to dinner on the plaza, come see a show, and drive home. I mean, it's not an hour and 10 minutes in traffic to go into San Francisco to see something and pay $100 a ticket. You can see something in the beautiful, saved Sonoma, thank you firefighters, and see some quality theater and drink some great local wine.
So, what goals do you guys have for Sonoma Arts Live in the future?
I guess I would like to say just more of what we were doing, a stronger relationship with our community, a stronger belief that they're going to see something of quality. Like I said, it's been two and a half years now that we've become a theater company, and it's brand recognition. People don't think we're Sonoma Theater Alliance anymore. They know that we're Sonoma Arts Live. So I would say that I would just like to have a stronger presence in the North Bay theater community, and I think we're really on the right track.
Yeah, for me it would be about the brand. Sonoma Arts Live is a brand separate from the Sonoma Community Center, because for still years and years in, we still get, the community center is doing plays. It's like, no, we're a tenant of the community center.
Right.
We pay rent every month for the privilege of using the Rotary Stage on Andrews Hall. So if we could build that Sonoma Arts Live brand, and it's difficult because I don't know too many other theaters that have that challenge of branding themselves separate from an existing building, and also an existing building that had on and off for the last 25 years had been occasionally doing shows. So Sonoma Community Center did occasionally do do
Right.
shows. We've only been Sonoma Arts Live for 3 years, and anybody who looks at the posters in our lobby, you can see 20 years of theater posters
Right.
of shows that have happened here. So if people could get that clarity of what Sonoma Arts Live means, it's you're going to see very high quality theater, and it's in our space is unique as well. The challenge of being in the community center is hard to separate it from a branding standpoint, but there aren't proscenium stages, and the way our space looks is very different, and it's very gratifying for actors to walk into the space and see. It's like, oh, there's a proscenium, and some people have never played on a proscenium before, and being able to use that space because it is so different from all of the other theaters. It's unique in Sonoma County.
Okay. I'd like to shift tones for a second and now talk about the recent events that have been happening in Sonoma.
Sure.
Because over the last month, Sonoma has been it's been through some difficult situations. Mm-hmm. So after the string of wildfires that hit Sonoma, how did that affect the community here?
We're all just, I would say the first week after the fires, everyone was walking around shell-shocked and just hugging each other and saying, "Are you okay?" Now I notice that people are talking more, telling their stories. That's everywhere you go, the gym, the grocery store, church. It's, beyond, everyone knows we're okay now. And now it's, what did you take? What did you put in your car? Did you evacuate? How are your friends? We have, we know just in our small circle of friends, 4 people that lost everything. So it really makes you think and appreciate. And I was just so touched and amazed at how the Rainmaker family just stuck together. Not one actor or technician, when we lost our tech week and our opening weekend, said, "Oh, I can't come the next week." And everyone's like, "Hey, we can make this happen." We were all set to still try to open on that Thursday, but the fires just got too bad, so we had to close. We were just going to do it for free and open it up to whomever was still in town. But
the community center actually closed.
Right, that was the answer for that, yeah.
We were set to open on the 19th, and the community center closed on the 18th.
And I was so amazed that Moira McGovern, the stage manager in Ricasal, when we were rehearsing, we couldn't rehearse in our theater because the electricity was out, so we moved everything to an alternative theater space down the street, and props, costumes went trotting down the street in the smoke. We're all wearing, masks, and it was a pretty crazy time, but everybody pitched together, and I'll never forget it. And Pat Nims was just amazing, his wife Marina. I want to say, this just brings tears to my eyes, but Pat and Marina have decided to donate their stipends back to Sonoma Arts Live because we lost a week, and I was just so touched by that. That tells me that they had a great experience here, and we're all bonded.
The love in the air is thicker than the smoke.
That's right. So our theater is fine. Our town is saved, and we're just ready to, it's hard in this time when everybody needs so much to say, is theater still important right now? I was like, should we not even be doing a show? Is it, appropriate? And then I just kept coming back to the fact that theater heals people and it brings people together. And opening night, when we were finally able to open, and there were raindrops coming down as I walked in. That was just so awesome. And I was like, okay, we're doing the right thing opening. And we had a good house and the houses have grown, and we've added a show tonight. Again, the actors were just amazing. Yep, I'm available. Let's do 2 shows. And so, we know that we've all been a part of something that we won't forget. And
right. Jamie's idea initially was to see, it was actually Moira was, could we make up for, we lost 3 shows, October 19th, 20th, and 21st. And she said, well, could we do these extra shows on Sunday the 22nd and 29th? And we did that. And the thing that's so strange about it for me is the net impact on the way the building looks now, the way our house is, the way, the grocery store that we shop at, all of it is the same, yet for 7 days we had no idea. So it's surreal almost, because everything looks the same, but everything doesn't feel the same at all. And I think that's where the whole Sonoma Strong piece is going to have to kind of keep that in people's minds, because if everything looks the same, you're tempted to just kind of move on and try to forget that it happened. But that doesn't feel right either, because a lot of people we know lost everything.
Well, and as soon as you drive out of the town boundaries, then you see where the fire hits. It's a lot of the houses were up in the hills, so you don't see it unless you're driving up Trinity or Cavedale. But I took a ride to Santa Rosa on Friday, and I had to pull over twice because I was just so, I couldn't speak at looking at everything, and everything is so incredibly dry. I mean, the fires may be 95% out, but all it takes is one match, and so it just makes you realize how you just have to just be appreciative,
Right, and Castle Road and 7th Street East, those fires north of Lovell Valley Road, those are less than a mile from the community center. So it's strange because everything seems normal, but it's not normal. So
right.
I think it's going to be something we're processing for a long time. What I've really enjoyed is after we lost our opening weekend, Jamie set up Pay What You Wish for the remainder of the run. So whatever you can pay, come and see the Rainmaker and pay what you wish. Mm-hmm. Also, first responders free for the run, and we've had a few first responders come and share this story with us. So it's very much a feeling of we're all in it together, and I think that's why for me it's felt like, despite so many people who lost more, I feel like we're all kind of doing our part and kind of doing what we can to keep things going. I mean, we had over 80 people last night on 45 advance tickets sold. So that is Pay What You Wish people coming in because they want to get transported away. And the message of the Rainmaker against this time about having faith in something that seemingly you shouldn't have faith in, mm-hmm. but the redemption story to it is, I think it's been, I'm a lot happier this is on stage than Jeeves Intervenes right now.
Exactly. I know. Thank goodness. I keep thinking about that. That was
not
the
that
right
Jeeves
show.
Not that Jeeves isn't going to be great, but
it's going to be amazing. But it wouldn't have the same impact. It wouldn't be the right tone. And right. This show was the absolute right tone. My favorite thing is to stand in the lobby when people are leaving, and there's been a lot of hugging and a lot of I am so glad I came out to be with people, because you want to be in community when you're feeling scared, and that's the thing that has been the overriding message when people walk out is like, I feel like I can have hope again. And I just see them talking as they exit the theater, and, they're sharing their stories, and, theater is healing, and I really believe in it in so many ways. Yeah,
it's been helpful for us because when we were evacuated and we're down in Emeryville, you're just wondering, are you going to have a life to come back to? Mm-hmm. And theater is such an important part of our life that from that distance it seemed frivolous compared to the loss people have faced. But now that we're back here and there are people here and they're coming out to see this show and they're sharing their thoughts with us about it, it's just great. It's really fun. I mean, one of Pat's decisions was to have music before the show, mm-hmm. and I'm so honored to be out there playing music for people. And you can see it, that they've come in and they've sat down and they've made a commitment that they're in this space right now, and they're just enjoying themselves. And I'm really proud to be able to give that to them after what everyone has been through.
It's really wonderful. Do you guys have any last things you want to say before we wrap things up?
I would just say for directors and creative people, reach out to Jaime, Jaime, at SonomaArtsLive.org, because we're always looking. I would love people on the creative side to think that the creative people can really have an input into what's happening here, mm-hmm. and that it's not just going to be top down. We're doing the music, man, and I'm going to go find this person and do this, this, and this. It's more organic. So you can
right.
see what's bubbling up there and what is it that people are talking about and thinking about. So I hope this and the TBA Awards and the Marquee Theater Awards will help kind of open that up and get us more integrated, and creative people will know that they can come here and we're going to give them a really wonderful canvas for them to work on, and that's design team, and that's directors and actors as well. So
I want to say that my husband has been a volunteer in all of this for 10 years, and this is the first year he came on as an employee of Sonoma Arts Live, and I just feel really blessed that I get to be able to work with you. We met 25 years ago working in radio, and taught me how to edit tape, and we've been together ever since, and I'm just really so happy that we can do this together.
We're a good team.
Thank you guys both for being on the podcast. It's really wonderful to have you guys.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning into the Theater Vision podcast, and remember to stay relevant.